This place sure is beautiful.
I imagine the dragon legend keeps people away, so there isn't much chance for malevolence to accumulate.
There's some sort of shrine as well. Seraphim do live here.
Maybe all that talk about a dragon on the mountain was started intentionally by humans who were trying to protect the shrine.
Well, even if that's true, it doesn't look like it was very effective. Look at this. Someone left flowers. Proof that people ventured all the way up here.
A shrine, and yet no seraphim in sight.
It is a bit curious. A seraph doesn't usually wander far from the shrine where he's worshipped.
Could the dragon have gotten him?
Who can say? But if there really were a dragon here, I would expect far more malevolence in this area.
We'll have to move on and find out.
Yeah.
Hey you, water boy. You got a name?
Mickleo, not Waterboy.
Mickleo, not water boy? That's a new one.
Call me what you like. See if I care.
Okay, Meebo.
It's Mickleo, alright? Mickleo!
If you say so.
Well, I see who runs this household.
Yep.
Whoa, what? Since when was this a household?
Yeah! Can you guys not practice your comedy routines inside my head?
Saray, can I ask you something?
Sure, what's up?
You're being targeted by assassins, right?
Sure looks like it.
Did you cause someone to have a grudge with you? Like that unmalevolent assassin?
Not that I can recall.
So you have no recollection of it, but somehow you are targeted by an unmalevolent assassin who has a seraph dwelling in them?
Well, I mean, I think it's just because I'm the shepherd.
Because you're the shepherd, huh? So you are somehow targeted by an assassin who somehow isn't affected by malevolence, which somehow possessed a seraph which didn't turn into a hellion. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, I'm glad you understand.
So, basically you're totally clueless here.
Pretty much.
Oh, incredible. I suppose even a raging river is no trouble for a shepherd. But you should still avoid using your powers in front of other people.
Yeah, you're probably right.
She is. If Earth Dwellers are there to freak out every time like this one does, I may slip my wrists.
Seraph Edna, I deeply regret my transgression.
Yeah, you ought to. And we're already on a first-name basis even though we just met? You're awfully rude, you know that?
Please forgive me.
If you're sorry, then do the Norman Karena as penance.
What now?
You don't know it? How disrespectful.
Please forgive me.
If you're sorry, then do the Norman Karena as penance.
Edna, don't infinite loop the squire. Lila, you understand that Edna is toying with Alicia, don't you? Do something.
Sorry, I just thought maybe if they had a chance to talk together, they might, become friends.
Alicia, this is just how Edna is. You can't take anything she says seriously.
Spoken like a true Meebo.
What's amiibo?
You don't know? Then do that.
Okay, enough. Is this a shrine to Seraphim?
Yes, it used to be a vessel of some sort.
Used to be, huh?
Long ago, there were many minor shrines like these for spreading the blessings of the Seraphim.
Indeed. It used to be there were throngs of people offering prayers.
The numbers might have dropped some, but there's definitely still people who pray to the Seraphim. Oh yeah, remember the shrine at Edna's Mountain? Someone left flowers there, right?
That was me.
Huh?
That shrine is a stand-in for a grave. A grave for all the humans my brothers killed.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't need any sympathy. It's the humans' own fault anyway. You hear about a dragon, you wander over to check it out, you get gobbled up. Simple as that.
Oh, aren't you just the cutest thing?
It's just a squirrel.
No, don't you see? The fluffiness of the tail. It must be the falcon squirrel. A rare sight indeed.
Calm down.
But look, it's so fluffy, poofy, adora-boofy. Don't tell me you're not moved by its precious little face.
I'm not. Unlike you, I don't feel a need to ooh and coo over cute things to make others think I'm cute as well.
What? No, that's not at all.
Shh! You'll frighten poor Poofy away.
You're right. My apologies.
If you're truly sorry, do the Squirrel Karena for me. The fluffy version.
There's a squirrel Karena? There's a fluffy version?
Poor Alicia.
She's so easy to toy with.
Should we leave them like this?
Understood, Miss Edna. Please teach me the squirrel, Karina. I wish to master this fluffy version.
Are you sure? My training is very strict.
I'm up for the challenge.
I think it's all right. They look like they're having fun.
True enough.
So this is Marland.
It is a city rich in history, is it not? I believe even the Celestial Record mentioned it.
Yeah, I always wanted to visit. Marland, the city of knowledge nestled amongst the holy trees. Their shining branches are as a beacon unto the fruit of knowledge and the flower of aesthetics.
There walks this continent no true scholar, no true artist who did not once frolic in its sylvan depths.
Well, the fruit looks pretty rotten right now if you ask me.
Pretty sure no one did.
Even so, she's right.
Maybe so. But flowers will always bloom again in springtime and bear their fruit in autumn.
Indeed, the cycle will never end so long as there remains passion for knowledge and beauty. Right?
Very true. History has proven as such.
I think you have flowers in your head or something.
Don't you like flowers, Edna?
I mean, they're fine. The pretty ones, at least.
So there's no guardian seraph here either.
Looks like it.
I don't want to assume that the entire world is like this, but
I think there are quite a lot of seraphim who are less than fond of humans.
Can it really be that hard for humans and seraphim to coexist peacefully again?
Do you really think that could happen? Must be nice living in a fantasy world.
it isn't necessarily just a fantasy.
But look at the reality.
I understand that it may be difficult to achieve, sure. But in reality, there was a time like that in the past.
There are records in the ruins and in the Celestial Record.
When is this past you're referring to?
Long, long ago. But even now, there are seraphim like you, Edna.
Huh?
And we figured out that we could bring back the blessing as well.
Yep. I think this is a step towards coexistence with the seraphim and humans. I'll be counting on you, Edna.
Selfish as ever. That's why I can't stand humans.
Get used to it.
Selfish types everywhere. Jeez.
This statue, it radiates such dignity.
You can tell from his expression that he must have been a great warrior.
A fine man. I would like to see his entire body.
Oh, but wouldn't he be...
More or less naked?
That's what makes him attractive, in an aesthetic sense.
Well, it's true that the perfectly toned body of a warrior may be aesthetically pleasing, but...
Alicia, unladylike.
No, I only meant it as a generalization. I really have no personal interest in that sort of thing.
Not at all, huh?
I mean, not much. Just enough. The normal amount.
Wow, settle down. It's just a statue.
Seriously. Though it's true that King Claudin epitomizes the warrior ideal.
Hold on, this is King Meliodas, right? Not King Claudin.
What? But then it wouldn't match with the style at all.
Yes, because this bust was carved as a speculation on the style of future generations.
I think your interpretation is a bit far-fetched.
Well, I think you're trapped in stereotypical views.
All right. Look, let's drop our preconceptions and start over then. Can we identify the subject? What features stand out?
Wow, settle down. It's just a statue.
Seriously.
Look, Saray.
There are flowers blooming in the great tree.
Marland, the scholarly city of the holy great tree.
At the treetop bloom the fruits of knowledge and art.
As with these flowers, may the culture of education and art likewise blossom again.
Yeah.
How noble.
Oh, I hope I'm not allergic to knowledge.
It's probably just pollen.
I guess I just have to get used to it. Oh, you're still awake?
Duh. I've been here a while now.
Why aren't you saying anything? It's not like you and I need to hold back on what we say.
Yeah, we aren't like that, right?
Of course.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Sorry about all this.
You mean good night.
The Normans' powers sure are interesting.
Not as much as their faces, though.
Yes, the Norman's ability to assist is quite helpful, and each one has different capabilities.
They all look the same, though.
Its abilities change from combining them in different ways, right?
They have bad attitudes, even though they're Norman.
Yes, there should be increasing numbers of Norman which you could combine to make new effects.
Norman times Norman equals Norman how?
You sure have it in for the Norman, Edna.
Not really. Just a bone or two to pick. By which I mean 77 confrontations, 108 complaints, and 32 appeals. That's all.
Sounds complicated. So, that was Lucas and the Woodsman, huh? They sure are a funny bunch.
It seems people form bonds in more ways than I realized.
Their logic makes sense, though, if you buy their premises in the first place.
Those who give themselves completely to what they believe in are all the more pure for doing so.
It's true that I felt no malevolence from them.
You mean malevolence doesn't spring merely from the distinction between right and wrong?
Even a villain might not bear any malevolence, specifically because they believe so thoroughly in their villainy.
Man, this malevolence stuff is tricky business.
Well, be assured at least that it's a very good thing you're so concerned about it.
I think it's good too, Saray.
Though it's a fine line between pure and naive.
Can't argue with you there.
This is making my brain hurt.
This forest was a ruin too.
We haven't found a ruin yet that wasn't crawling with Hellions. The malevolence really is widespread.
I'm sorry.
It tears me up inside seeing all these ruins defiled. But if we purify the Hellions while we explore the ruins, isn't that like two birds with one stone? Think about how jealous of our adventures literally every other historian and archaeologist will be.
You're such a sweet, simple soul. You know that?
Huh?
You're right. Fretting over this won't get us any closer to our answers. We should all take a page out of Miklio's book and laugh at our worries.
And if Saray thinks you're happy-go-lucky,
I think Miklio's in shock.
Let's get going, touchy-feely Miklio.
Hey, you're doing this on purpose.
Or for short,
touchy-feelio.
No! No nicknames!
So this is a battlefield.
Yes. The centuries may pass, but here at least the scenery is ever the same.
People lose their humanity here.
you're more right than you think. The fools people call heroes or whatever are mostly just Hellions.
There is no place more ideal for breeding malevolence and passing it on to humans than a battlefield.
And yet, those who make a name for themselves there are heroes, huh? Hellions would really fit them better.
There was, let's see, Dindrain, the general of 100 victories, King Meliodas, who united the continent long ago.
Yeah, those are definitely names that'll come up in history books.
And King Claudin, who ended the era of darkness? What about him?
He's different. I'm told Claudin was in fact a shepherd, actually.
Oh, really? Shepherds and Hellions. They've always been with us. I just didn't know it.
These guys sure are shattering my perceptions of what assassins are supposed to be.
They're all such good people.
Yeah.
Though it looks like that Rose chick has a problem with acknowledging us.
And she has so much to offer, too.
It doesn't seem like she's able to sense the malevolence either.
Maybe Rose can't see the Seraphim because she herself denies their existence.
But wait, so you heard what Maven was saying?
We were there. You just couldn't sense us. But I saw everything. I was by your side the whole time.
It's okay, Miklio. Anyone would cry when their best friend ignores them.
I did not cry. That's a lot of dragons. Are these statues of the 8 serpents?
No, it can't be. The numbers don't match. But it does look like relics of dragonism.
Taking the era into account, it might be logical to assume that the Dragonist religion originates from that legend.
I can understand the whole deity worship thing, I guess, but why the dragons?
Beings of incomprehensible power, symbols of awe-inspiring terror. Humans probably hoped that praise to such an entity would help them somehow.
Oh, shoot.
I've been all over, but I've never so much as seen a dragon's footprints. Oh, Though I bet that thunder we heard at Rayfalk is enough to inspire dragon legends.
That's because that one was real.
Sure.
You can go there and verify for yourself. You would probably die, though.
What?
We met a dragon at Rayfalk.
It was, Edna's brother.
Wait, isn't Edna a seraph?
Yup. A dragon is what you get when a seraph accumulates too much malevolence.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize. I agree with you that praying to a dragon is a stupid idea.
I wonder how the war turned out.
Who knows? I remember the Roland's army falling apart.
Immediately afterwards, Highland also lost their general and retreated. I'd say it was a draw.
You were there too?
I like to watch.
I see.
So my actions directly affected the course of battle.
It's like what Lila said before.
Would Alicia and Lucas be alright?
Lucas would probably be okay. But as for Alicia, we'll just have to trust Highland.
I guess so.
In any case, we did what we needed to do.
That's right.
Come to think of it, you guys split up with Princess Alicia, right?
Yeah, in Marland.
Alicia has her own dreams to pursue, too.
So what, does that make me a replacement?
What?
No!
No!
Sorry to ask that way. Don't worry about it. I decided to join you guys of my own volition. But don't expect me to fit into that princess role.
We know that!
Glad you understand and all. But that's a little rude of you, don't you think?
You probably wouldn't have been so scared of Seraphim or Hellions if you could see them from the beginning.
That's probably true. If you can see them in the first place, at least you know they're there with you. If you can't see people, and then suddenly you can, it means that there were people there the whole time when you thought there wasn't anyone at all. Doesn't that give you the creeps?
I sorta get it, but not really. I think Mikleo and the others have their work cut out for them. Doesn't the pattern on this mural look familiar? It's like the one that's supposed to be in the Pendrago Shrine.
It certainly resembles the drawing in the Celestial Record.
You don't suppose one could be a copy of the other?
Either way, it suggests that this ruin might date from the height of the era of Asgard, since that's when the Pendrago Shrine was built.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Pendrago Shrine too someday.
Ha! Good luck with that one, Your Holiness.
Huh? What do you mean?
Pendrago is the capital of the Roland's Empire, and the shrine is the headquarters of their church. These days, only church personnel are allowed inside, and then only the highest of the high.
Interesting.
Looks like someone isn't deterred.
Hey, Rose.
Huh? What is it? You're sounding all serious on me.
It's about my duty as a shepherd.
You're supposed to defeat the Lord of Calamity written about in the Earthen Historia, right? What about it?
I met the Lord of Calamity on the battlefield,
You did, huh?
but I was no match for him.
Even your resonance was cut off.
Oh, so that's when I came to the rescue. And?
What do you mean, and? This journey is going to be dangerous. Honestly, I don't even know if we have a chance to win.
I'll help you find a way to win. And if we can't, we can always run away. We'll be all right. You know the reality of the situation and what your capabilities are, and that's fine by me.
Thanks.
For what?
For everything.
Not sure I get what you mean, but you're welcome.
There isn't a problem. If there is, we'll just run away.
Whoa, it's friggin' huge!
Aha! A Roland's Atlas beetle!
Oh yeah? I never saw one at Alicia! That's the coolest thing ever!
And it's thanks to folks like you that you can unload these for a hefty sum.
Nope. Wrong.
Huh?
This is a Volgran stag beetle.
Oh, a stag beetle!
Oh, well, they're pretty much the same thing, right? They both have horns.
Completely different. Atlas beetles have horns, but stag beetles have prominent mandibles instead.
Duh!
Wow, Dezel, you know so much.
Just common sense.
So they're different body parts, but are they used the same?
They're both used for wrestling, but the stag beetle also uses its mandibles to hide under dead logs and in muck.
Got it. Related but separate tools.
Right. Like a butter knife and a shiv. They look similar, but only one'll go clean through the ribs.
Oh, I don't...
Not my area of expertise.
Ugh, you two! Why do I even bother?
Mickleo, look! A giant tree stump!
Judging from the growth rings, it looks like this one's at least 1,000 years old.
You counted them? What, are we boring you?
You can eyeball this kind of thing, you know. Look, see? This width accounts for about 20 years. If the trunk is at least 50 of these wide, that's 1,000 years right there.
Hey, look! There's a part where the growth rings are super concentrated.
You're right. I wonder why.
There was probably an era with a chilly enough climate that the sun barely ever broke through the clouds.
Oh, I see. So that's why these growth rings are so close together.
And that's approximately 1,000 years ago.
Amazing. Trees are history books growing right in front of us.
Impressive that you even noticed that, though.
You just need to think more, is all.
Pretty rock, I gotta say.
Orpiment, often found at the bottom of volcanic fumaroles.
Well, it sure is a brilliant yellow.
Once it was used as a colorant, but that is all behind us now.
You know all about this.
Of course, I'm an Earth Seraph. I don't bum around.
Edna? You okay?
Orpiment is also known as arsenious sulfide. You would know that if you'd been reared properly.
Oh yeah, that stuff. It's used to make poison, right?
Poison?
Chill out, we don't use it. But it's supposed to be a type of arsenic.
That's incredibly lethal. You should have told us in the first place.
I've been telling you this entire time, you butt.
Oh, arsenic? Really?
Nice.
Really? Really?
Fethmismioma, Luzrov Roulet, Hefsin Yuland, Lukheim Yerlin?
You okay?
Are you not feeling well?
Fethmismioma, Luzrov Roulet, Hefsin Yuland, Lukheim Yerlin. Fethmismioma, Luzrov Roulet, Hefsin Yuland, Lukheim Yerlin!
Whoa! What are you doing?
You tell me! When I formed the pact with Lila, she told me I had to remember those in like 3 seconds. And now I can't get them out of my head.
It was an emergency. I couldn't help it.
Lila can be pretty forceful sometimes.
I wish she were a ghost. She'd be less scary.
If I make the oath, will I get power like Lila's?
Don't even think about it. That oath is way more trouble than it's worth. Work on honing the strength you already have instead of relying on that mumbo-jumbo, and you'll develop special skills all your own.
You mean you've got your own skills?
You bet I do.
Yeah? Like what? Show me.
You sure you're ready? I'm impressed. Didn't think you had it in you to act like a grown-up for once.
You're getting weird.
You sure you want to see it? I don't normally show it to just anyone, but for you, I just might make an exception.
Never mind. Forget I asked.
Heh. It must get lonely, being Mickleo. Mickley only.
Honing the strength I already have. Water, pierce my enemies. Sharp ice, crack and scatter. If I can just exert control over the diffusion here. Couldn't quite suppress it enough. But I'm starting to get the feel for it at least.
Hang in there, buddy. Is this belfry all machine run?
Yep, it's what Leston Bell is famous for. The gears get moving, the bells get swinging, and it sounds like the most entrancing music.
Now that's something I'd like to hear.
Wow! You'll only get something like this in the City of Artisans. Such craftsmanship.
Oh, an art appreciator now, are you?
I wonder how the motor works.
Don't ask me.
I hear the sound of the drawworks. They're probably utilizing the power of the aqueduct running underground.
Aqueduct?
Really? Nothing I can see suggests that.
That's because it's a hidden refuge area. This place was built as a fort in the first place.
Oh, so that's why this place is surrounded by castle walls.
Before it was a fancy belfry, this was a communication tower for sending smoke signals.
So much history everywhere. This is too cool.
Guys seriously geek out over the weirdest things.
Well, let them have their fun.
Yeah, I suppose.
Oh my! Don't those potatoes look scrumptious?
Oh yeah, radish bells. They're on the smallish side, but they're super sweet and delicious.
They look like they'd go great with butter.
That, or you can just bake them and sprinkle with salt.
Oh my gosh, that sounds delicious.
You know those have got poison in them, right?
Poison?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Eat enough, and it'll be your last meal.
Well, sheesh, you just gotta cook it thoroughly, right?
Nope, that actually strengthens the poison. You're even deader now.
How about if you cut the eyes off? Does that fix it?
Whoops, still dead. Radish bells contain poison in both the eyes and the skin. Now you remove all the skin and slice out the eyes. It's perfectly safe.
Hey, Lila, where do you think you're going?
I'm afraid this conversation is a bit...
I think she has some concerns about your food safety standards.
Boy, I gotta say, that improv act during the inspection sure was a hoot.
Yeah, Lila in particular was getting way into it.
To tell you the truth, I've always loved performances like that. I've been wanting to try one out my whole life.
I gotta say, that was pretty sweet, coming up with those ridiculous lines on the fly.
We Seraphim have way more experience than you folks.
Now that you mention it, that's right. A Seraph's age basically has nothing to do with their appearance.
How old are you actually, Lila?
I'd like to know that too.
I feel like she must be older than me.
That's classified.
I guess your ad-libbing prowess only applies in certain situations.
Looks like the church and the Knights of Rollins really are at odds.
And here I thought they were both supposed to protect the people.
Herd mentality always prevails when people sort themselves into groups, no matter the situation. It can be helpful in lending authority to institutions that wouldn't otherwise command it, but more often than not, it generates malevolence, leading to great conflict.
Like wars, you mean?
Yes, in the most extreme cases. Even the conflict between the Knights and the Church could be considered a war, if on a much smaller scale.
War is the people's history. I read that in a book once, and I think I get it now.
Would it be better for me not to get involved?
What do you think?
I want to know. Even if the reality is bleak, it is still part of the world we live in.
Then let us go forth. This is your adventure.
No, it's our adventure. Mine and those who believe in me.
So, do you think Rose has gotten used to us being around yet?
Yeah, I feel like she mostly has. She may be a big old scaredy cat, but she's pretty adaptable.
I'm not so sure. That fear of hers may run deeper than it looks. Remember, it was powerful enough to suppress even her prodigious resonance.
With the help of someone we know.
I don't have to apologize for anything.
But even so, Rose tagged along of her own volition. I'm sure she'll be just fine.
I want to believe she will. Human compatriots like Rose are 1 in a million.
In more ways than one.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
What's so funny?
I was just thinking, maybe we're the ones getting used to Rose and not the other way around.
Very likely.
You're talking to Lila and the others while they're invisible again, aren't you? Creepalicious!
Guess she's still got a ways to go.
It just takes time and patience.
Hey, Mikleo, this one's cracked. We should be able to see what it's built with.
The building materials don't look like anything special, but then how would it maintain its current shape?
Maybe they used seraphic arts?
Probably. If so, that would imply that these ruins date all the way back to the era of the gods.
I knew it!
What's got you two all hot and bothered?
I've wanted to see these towers since, forever.
Leaning towers. They're mentioned in the celestial record.
Just look at them. They're way bigger than I even imagined.
And to think, all these years they've remained standing.
Really? You're freaking out over some badly designed towers?
Yeah, that's just what I was wondering. How did they get like this?
The obvious answer would be tectonic activity.
Yeah, but there aren't any faults anywhere nearby.
Then could it be ground subsidence? I wouldn't write off effects of flooding either.
What if they were built like this in the first place?
That's entirely possible, but why?
Yeah, it all comes down to that. A place of worship? A grave? A sundial?
Possibly even a part of an elaborate seraphic art?
Rose, What do you think?
Me? I think you both talk too much. Oh, look! Ancient statues! I wonder what they're made of.
What a fluffy puffy goat!
A fluffagoat, you might say.
This is a goat? They don't look anything like the ones in Elysia.
Don't they eat paper?
Knock it off. You shouldn't give them man-made items.
I'm sorry. You're quite right.
You're very kind when it comes to animals.
It's more that you folks are too rough with them.
We'll leave it at that.
So, Dezel, would these be cliff-dwelling goats?
Yeah. They usually live their lives on the cliffs and go down to the grasslands only to eat. They even sleep on the cliffs.
On the cliffs? That's gotta be brutal.
Sounds quite uncomfortable indeed.
From our point of view, maybe. But to them, it might be the best thing in the world.
It's true that they probably have fewer predators to worry about that way.
What strangers feel as happiness is beyond our ken. Is that the sort of thing you're getting at?
Pretty much.
Are you talking from experience?
Interpret as you may.
Oh, look!
There's a rabbit!
It's a Glenwood rabbit.
Looks
So
yummy.
What?
You got a problem?
You're talking, yummy cute, right?
Yeah, cute. And delicious.
You didn't know? Rabbit flesh is a rare treat.
I'm aware that they're consumed sometimes, but
You'll understand once you take a bite.
Here, I'll catch this one for you and cook it up.
no thanks.
It's okay. We'll save the most scrumptious part for you.
I'm fine. Seraphim don't need food.
Really? If you say so.
It's cool. We'll just dry it and take it along. I love bunny jerky.
Ooh, I'm game.
What are you doing? Run!
It ran away.
Dezel, you startled the poor thing, you meanie.
You're concerned for its welfare now?
Oh? Did someone forget this here?
Odd that someone would abandon a tool so central to their livelihood.
Still, it's a terribly lovely field.
Yeah. Age of Chaos or not, it's nice to see that some places are still thriving.
Or so it would seem.
What do you mean?
Take a closer look at the wheat.
Huh?
Oh my!
Not a single berry.
Same thing over here. Nothing but mold inside the husks.
It's the bliss mold. The whole area's probably wiped out.
The whole area?
It's been going around for a while now. This year's harvest is pretty much screwed.
No wonder they threw away their hoe.
Lila, this is...
Yes. This too must be the work of the Lord of Calamity.
So this is what Age of Chaos really means.
A Highland steer! Excuse me while I salivate.
Notice the graceful line from the neck to the sirloin. An A5 ring specimen.
It looks nice and all, but it's a cow.
It's a cow, said the poor country bumpkin who'd never tasted the majesty of a real Highland steak. We're talking melts in your mouth. It's that good.
And how can it be a Highland steer? This is Roland's.
Is that really all you can think about?
Presumably they're so called because they originally came from Highland.
But we didn't see any when we were there.
Raising large herds of them as actual livestock requires vast amounts of grazing land. Roland's geography is probably more suited to that kind of thing.
I see. I guess that makes sense.
Of course, if the world doesn't get off its current path, all the cattle will die off, and it'll be a moot point.
That's also true.
Ahem! Also, Drago stew is made with Highland beef. It's considered an auspicious dish due to the symbolism of eating Highland itself.
Okay.
Mundane trivia. A C-rank specimen.
Sheesh, forgive a girl for trying to lighten the mood.
I wonder who wound up in this coffin.
The decorative work suggests a privileged background. Nobility, perhaps. Or a clan chief.
Very much so. This is, quality rock.
So where would you date it? Pre-Roland's times?
Hard to say. It wouldn't surprise me if it were actually related to the founding family of the Roland's Empire.
From the texture, I'd say it was constructed in the storied, cold and smooth style.
Sad that it's been looted.
We should take care that our own studies are more respectful to the departed.
Dust everywhere. This is further corroboration of the poorly cleaned hypothesis.
Rose?
What are you doing?
Oh, I was just trying to contribute to your little academic geek out, but... Sorry, I'm way out of my league.
Yeah.
Don't, try too hard.
Yeah, think I won't.
What a resplendent fountain.
Yeah, it's one of the famous sights of Pendrago. I don't know a lot about it, but supposedly the water's piped in from afar through an underground channel.
Oh, I see.
So much work for something that doesn't even serve any purpose. Stupid, simple humans.
Well, considering their lack of seraphic arts, I think their technological advancement is commendable.
Useless, pointless, waste of effort.
It's also known as the Fountain of Wrath.
Wrath? Why do they call it that?
Something with the piping's all messed up. Every now and then. Like that.
Oh dear. Stupid, stupid humans.
Lastenbell didn't have a lord of the land either.
We did see a couple of seraphim, but it didn't look like they were living together.
I can't see them, but they've been here the whole time. To think that it's always been like that is just... so friggin' scary.
But in the past, seraphim were revered.
And in return, Seraphim gave the people their blessing.
That's how it was in the era of coexistence?
Yep.
But the humans came to only believe in things that they could see.
That can't be helped. There's barely anyone who could see Seraphim like Saray and Rose.
It's scary that there are people around you that you can't see, but at the same time, it's sad. It's sad that they can't be noticed even though they're there.
I wish everyone thought the same way you did, Rose.
Water, bore my foe! Ice, expand and spread! Yes, it's getting more stable.
You're working awfully hard.
No, well, this is...
Things were a lot more complicated than we thought, especially with the Roland's Empire.
As if the confrontation between the Night Squad and the Church wasn't enough. There's the Scattered Bones Assassins Guild and Dezel's Revenge. That's quite a lot to handle.
And there are issues with the Cardinal and Dezel's Vengeance. We may run into strong Hellions.
And we also need to take care of Rose. I trust her, but regardless, she's still human. There's always a risk of getting affected by malevolence.
True. Just like with the Shepherd. Or something more.
Despite all that, they're both pretty carefree about the whole thing. I'm getting fed up with them.
It's because you're with them, Micleo.
I don't know about that.
I'm the same way.
I'm just doing this for myself. I may not look like it, but I'm more ambitious than you might think.
Do you really mean that?
Of course.
Sure looks like the Cardinal's a Hellion.
Indeed. Though we have yet to discover its true form.
In other words, she claims to be serving the people, but in reality, she's just furthering her own ambitions.
Sounds about right. Stupid humans.
Perhaps she was burdened with a responsibility she could not bear. The pressure to do something, anything, most likely was channeled into her sense of self-justification.
So basically she couldn't hack it. Do you think the Pope jumping ship might have been what finally set her off?
That I couldn't tell you.
Your, job kinda depends on that, right?
Yep. That's why I gotta track down this Pope and see for myself just what kind of person he is.
Saray, you must gain the spiritual powers. Everything else comes second.
Right. Let's try and find the Pope.
Go, go, Gadodin!
Could this be... Elixir?
The all-healing panacea made by Mautellus?
Oh my! What a delightful butterfly!
Whoops, I guess it's random o'clock again.
Anyway, the elixir. You think it's the real thing?
According to the Celestial Record, the methods used to make elixir were lost ages ago.
And look! An icky beetle going creepo-crawler, creepo-crawl!
Guess we won't know for sure unless we try it.
You think that's safe?
It'll just be a drop. Whoa, I feel rejuvenated.
It is the real thing.
Nice. Wish we could just buy this at the store.
That'll be difficult. The only remaining elixir left in the world of humans is in custody of the Church.
The Church, huh?
Ran out of bugs, I take it.
Cardinal's intensity was so intimidating. Is that the responsibility that comes when you carry the weight of the country?
She's just some idiot human who became a Hellion.
Is she the one you need to get your vengeance on?
I wouldn't know. She beat you so badly I couldn't even tell.
Sorry.
Don't screw up next time. I've got to get my revenge, you know.
Yeah, I'll try.
You sure about that? If she's the one I need to get vengeance on, it means she's dead meat.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to think about it. Thanks.
Thanks for what?
I just figured you were worried about me or something.
There's no point in even thinking about it, if that's the only way you can interpret things.
Whoa! What the hell?
That's a big shrimp.
A fossil, one hopes.
Holy crap! This thing was alive once?
I want to catch it and fry it.
It looks terrifying. You don't think this is a Hellion?
There are fossilized Hellions? No way!
It's not outside the realm of possibility.
It's not outside the realm of sashimi either.
So which side's the head?
The left?
We can't even tell where the head is? Ugh, this thing's freaktastic.
No matter. A shrimp's head and tail are equally delicious.
I can't even make sense of this thing.
Shrimp. Starts with S. Look it up.
Wow. Indeed. It's mesmerizing how the lake's surface sparkles.
Bioluminescence, do you think?
Dezel?
Don't ask me. I can't see it.
So even you have some gaps in your animal knowledge.
I've heard of organisms too small to be seen that give off light in the dark. Maybe this is their habitat.
Whoa, thousands and thousands of tiny creatures.
But each one lives only a few days before winking out.
Only a few days? But they shine so bright.
Biodoom, in essence. Oh, that was inappropriate. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Better than ending on a sour note.
Oh, a left field success from Lila.
My first one, it feels like. I suppose it took going deep underground for Edna to finally cave.
And I take it back.
The rare, sparkling Lila. Note its brief lifespan.
Even you, Dezel? Aww. What kind of bird is this?
A griffkite. It's a bird in the kite family.
There's another one over there, too. Very high up.
Yeah, they're excellent at reading the wind.
Look at it soar, swift and free.
Yeah. Through a sky clouded with malevolence wrought by earth dwellers.
You don't suppose the griffin started out once as a griffkite?
Perhaps.
Malevolence deforms everything, people and nature alike. But malevolence can be cleansed.
Through Saray, you mean?
Through all of us. Dezel.
Smell that. It's like there's a new color in the wind.
The fragrance of herbs paints the very air. How poetic.
And now the wind turns foul.
Now what's that for? I say something nice and you snap at me? If you see everything as sarcastic, maybe the foulness lies inside you.
Are you ever not sarcastic?
Now, why don't you take a break? It'll help calm you down.
What? Is that?
A Norman mug. You don't like it?
I mean what's inside. You see herbs and your first thought is to yank them up and make tea with them?
Herbs are a gift from the land. It's only proper for a seraph of the earth to accept them, no?
How convenient for you.
Fragrant. With quiet times like these, even the most arduous journey isn't so bad.
Maybe so.
Hey, looks like a helictite.
A what?
A helictite. It's like a stalactite that grows all bent.
Wow, yeah. It's all warped and twisted.
Like a certain someone we know.
But don't stalactites take a long time to form?
Yeah, it's basically been growing along a deviant path since time immemorial. Like a certain someone we know.
It's weird, sure, but it's got a kind of ethereal beauty as well.
Yeah.
Go on.
Building a school to preserve the village's future. I have to respect that.
A school, huh? Always wished I could have gone to one.
Yeah, me too.
You too, Rose?
I grew up on the road. The older folks of the Scattered Bones were like my teachers. He may not look it, but Roche is actually super good at calligraphy, and he knows a ton about literature.
Huh.
Egil looks like he's no slouch either.
Yeah, he was the one who drilled me in martial arts and stealth skills. You might say he's my gym teacher.
Well, that's one way to get kids their exercise.
Same with me and Mikleo. Pretty much everyone in Elysia wound up serving as our teachers.
Reminds me of Gramps' etiquette class. He was really strict.
And that's how Mikleo got the way he is today.
Whereas you didn't learn a thing, huh?
Hey, that's not true.
Yeah, right. You were always reading the Celestial Record.
You did the same thing.
Yes, but I read it to enhance my history and classical language studies.
And you're saying I didn't?
So, pretty much the same things you do now.
Fair enough. So yeah, we weren't lonely per se, but...
It would have been nice to study and play with other kids our age.
Yeah, I feel you.
There's nothing in the universe cooler than a secret passageway.
Especially one underground.
Totally! A maze of twisty little passages with exits galore to who knows where.
Like the back of a waterfall, or the bottom of an old abandoned well.
Yes! Mikleo gets it!
Glad someone gets it because I don't.
I don't want to get it.
Boys just love things like this.
In this case, I don't know about boys so much as...
Children, right?
Sure is dry way out here.
Yeah, it's a remote region like Elysia, but it looks hard to hunt or even farm here.
It amazes me that people can even live in a place like this.
Those humans sure are tougher than they look.
Maybe they have some sort of special local product?
Maybe. Anyway, our next destination is Gadaden.
Are we going in the right direction, Rose?
Yeah. It should be around the edge of this cliffside road. I think we're almost there.
Okay, let's hurry before we get attacked again. It looks like something was dug up here.
This red stone, maybe?
Vermilion ore, you mean?
Come again?
It's a rare type of mineral. It's a crystallization of nutrients in the earth, often used as medicine. But
I've read about this stuff. Some of its elements are highly toxic, so it can be tricky to handle.
Right! This is what they're using to make the fake elixir. After coming to Gadaden, I can see why the people value their pope, their chief so much.
Yeah, it's the story of humans, weakness and all.
Weak though they may be, they can always make amends. Though even now I can't say for sure if my decision was correct.
But that's who you are, Saray. Doubts and all. If nothing else, that's why we follow you.
Even if you suck sometimes.
But hey, it all ended well, right? Rose didn't even have to chop anyone to bits.
I don't know about that. She looks like she's still making pro and con lists.
Just like you, right?
I do hope Rose finds a path in life that doesn't involve killing people anymore.
You and the rest of us.
A path without killing, huh?
But still, isn't it almost too neat of a coincidence that this turned out to be a shrine of trials?
I believe it. There's vermilion ore all over the place after all.
Good point. Vermilion ore is only formed in the aftermath of the use of powerful fire seraphic arts.
By powerful, you mean like Lila's arts?
I'm afraid not. My flames are yet too weak to create vermilion ore.
Meaning there's an art user out there even stronger than Lila.
To think there'd be such a large rock of vermilion ore.
That's not good.
What do you mean?
Vermilion ore is a mineral that can only be generated through immensely powerful fire-based seraphic arts.
So there are tough enemies ahead. I say bring it on.
Let your guard down, and you may wind up with more than a little skin burn.
Certainly. This ore is far beyond my capability to produce, even with my fire affinity.
Then what scale are we talking?
Think of an erupting volcano, and you're closer.
Wouldn't be a shrine of trials without a trial or two, I guess.
Someone's unflappable.
But I think he has the right idea. We can't back off now.
I wonder what's happening in Pendrago now.
If we take too much time, Sergei and his brigade may be forced into a situation where they need to take action.
It would also give Fortin more time to devise a trap.
Don't even say that!
Just stating a fact.
Though it is a shame.
Yeah.
If we don't do anything, the situation won't get any better.
That's for sure.
The village chief knew the whole thing by heart, didn't he? Impressive.
The shepherd is granted 4 powers: earth, water, fire, and wind. They are the blade that shall cleave the Lord of Calamity.
That's just what the village chief was saying. You memorized it?
More or less.
He's actually pretty decent at that sort of thing.
I'm sorry, Saray. You're more capable than I thought.
What did you take me for?
But what exactly are the spiritual powers of the shepherd?
All of nature is composed of 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and wind. Each one is governed by one of the 4 eldest seraphim.
Right. Eumacia, Amanok, Musif, and Hyanua.
Correct. They maintain the balance of the entire continent of Glenwood.
When you put it that way, they sound almost like gods, though they lack a certain divine presence.
We feel much the same, actually. They're ostensibly the source of our seraphic arts, but we're basically never aware of them.
That's the nature of the 5 lords' existence. The shepherd's spiritual powers are most likely the result of a fortification of elemental affinity through the blessings of the 5 lords.
And all to battle against the Lord of Calamity.
Kind of a shame that such wondrous power has to be squandered on fighting.
This is the crest of Mount Tellus, isn't it?
If the celestial record is to be believed, yes.
But it's empty.
Yeah, I don't get any sense of presence or lordly domain. Though we still don't really know what to expect for signs of presence of the 5 lords.
Well, Mount Tellus is a mysterious kind of seraph to begin with. Like, for the shepherd's spiritual powers, there's earth, water, fire, and wind, but there isn't one for Mount Tellus.
My first thought was that he served as a symbolic figure in 5 lords' worship, but there may be more to it than that. Lila seems to know something.
But it's probably best not to bother her.
I feel sorry for her, in a lot of ways.
I do wonder, how does she even come up with those things she says?
Indeed, a mystery greater even than our friend Mount Tellus.
Hey, can I mention something?
Hmm?
This is something I realized when we met the Pope, but I believe it was Cardinal Fortin who preceded the motion for war. That chief we met? I can't see him making the decision to declare war like that.
So, does that mean you're going to—
You want to purify the Cardinal, don't you?
I do. She may have become a Hellion, but I still believe that her sense of responsibility is sincere.
If you purify her, I'm sure she can be saved.
I think so too.
All right then, let's give it a shot. I've got your back on this one.
Rose,
You don't need to say anything. It's just how things shook out.
Once the domain completely disappeared, I could tell immediately. Mount Tellus isn't here after all.
Lila, Lila, classifila, all the species, all the phyla.
So what? It doesn't matter now.
It does matter. It was a Hellion not even as strong as the 5 lords, and still we couldn't manage to purify it. Meaning we don't stand a chance against old Kittybeard.
Heldolf, huh? We still have a ways to go before we can face him.
Glad you understand. Now you need to get it together.
The real fight is about to begin.
There are still 3 trial shrines left to go.
Right. Can't afford to mope around.
So it wasn't Mount Tellus, and it wasn't her. But I can feel a presence nearby. She's still somewhere in Rollins.
Shah. Guess that's that for the water trial. Barely.
But weren't we just cleaning up the mess that Altul made?
You don't have to say it like that.
Meebo, just tell us how you feel.
Well, I do feel a bit frustrated.
Right?
I think this is all just supposed to show us the worst-case scenario of what a shepherd could potentially become.
I thought so too.
So then, what were you going to do if Azura really didn't become a Hellion?
In that case, we probably would have been challenged by another Hellion.
Do you mean there are more shepherds who became Hellions?
In the long lines of history, many have.
I see. So that's why the trial is a test of one's spirit as well.
Yes.
If that's the case, then I'm convinced. You okay with that, Edna?
I'm fine, as long as it's a fair trial.
No fair.
You're definitely spirited, Edna.
Mushrooms! Are they safe to eat?
The ones closest to you are okay, but stay away from the ones in the back.
You got it.
Wow. How do you know all that?
It's just common knowledge.
This forest, it's so rich and abundant with life.
Yeah, that's the power of Gramps' blessed domain.
Oh, so it's Gramps' domain that makes it feel this way?
It's a sizable amount of power. Even among high-ranking seraphim, there are very few on his level.
That's Gramps for you. Anyone comes by who's up to no good, they get zapped in the butt with lightning. Pow!
He can wield lightning?
Yep, he lights up the sky like fireworks.
I sure remember fireworks when it came to him and you.
Well, figuratively.
Oh, and that explains all the mushrooms.
Huh?
Oh, right! Where Monday's lightning strikes the ground, Tuesday's mushrooms will be found.
Aha! So we have Saray to thank for this harvest.
Hey! No, it wasn't like that.
Huh? Unbelievable.
What's wrong?
Shh, it's nothing. Keep still.
Whoa, check out that beetle!
Be quiet! Don't you know what that is?
What is it?
An aroundite stag beetle.
Is that good?
It's incredibly rare. Atlas beetles die within a year, but stag beetles can survive the winter months with a typical lifespan of 3 years. This one in particular has remarkable tolerance to cold. It can be packed in snow on all sides and still not freeze to death. Some have been known to last for over a decade. They were thought to have gone extinct 100 years ago or so. I've only heard them whispered in legend before today.
Whoa, neat! The phantom beetle!
Understand? So be quiet.
Right. Don't want it to get away.
It already did, while Dezel was blabbing on and on about it.
It what?
Not that I can blame it.
These traps aren't working. They're all busted.
Serves him right, the creepy eyeball things.
We can rest for a bit.
It'd be a miracle if they had been working. These date all the way back to the temperance of Everost.
Here we go again. In English, that means...
So, the era known as the temperance of Everost was when Seraphic civilization reached its peak.
A great many buildings and artifacts from those times were crafted using the power of seraphic arts.
So the era of wiggy magic everywhere, basically. We're talking ages and ages ago?
Yeah, older than even Edna.
Saray.
Yow!
It's thought that the temperance preceded the era of the gods, but not a great deal is known for certain. Many vital records were lost during the age known as the Dark Period.
But these shrines of trials have preserved relics of things that could only have been made by Seraphim. They're precious evidence that the temperance of Everost really and truly happened.
Even a bunch of weird-ass eyeballs can be a treasure if you've got the right mindset, huh?
Yeah, you can't fathom the true meaning of legends until you've seen their history with your own eyes, so to speak.
Ha! You look just like Maven when you say that.
Indeed, the face of a hopeless romantic.
A charitable way to say naive simpleton.
Hey, Saray, do you know what this butterfly's called?
I've never seen one like this.
This calls for... Hey, Dezel!
What?
Do you know what kind of butterfly this is?
I'm not your personal encyclopedia.
Don't be like that. Professor Dezel, please?
Do I look like a professor?
What's got you so butterfly crazy all of a sudden?
Don't you know? Collectors pay primo cash for these suckers. They stick them up on their walls with pins or something.
With pins?
Well, we may never know what you are, little dude, but I ought to bag you just in case.
Wait! I just realized. It's a Chez Monu rose. Looks like a butterfly, but it's just a moth.
Aw, moth. No one's gonna pay for that.
Darn, too bad.
Chez Monuros? Oh!
Shush.
Got it. Moth.
Oh, gorgeous! I wonder what kind of flower this is.
Huh, so even you can get excited by this sort of thing.
I'm a girl, and I happen to think that red flowers are badass. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
An orchid, do you think?
Correct. This particular variant is called an Edna.
The same name as you!
It's not just the name. Ednae have low tolerance for heat and flourish best in breezy, shady areas. Those who raise them must take care not to give them too much water. Doesn't the daintiness and loveliness remind you of me?
So in other words...
What are you doing, Meebo?
Well, that's odd. It doesn't look all thorny and poisonous.
I'll show you, Thorny.
Ow! Cripes, Edna, you broke the skin!
Little Meebo needs to learn some manners.
I should have figured you'd be an expert on the Edna flower.
It was something he told me once. My brother.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry. I should have been more sensitive.
No, it's fine.
Huh? How on earth?
Crazy how big rocks can get.
No, it's not that.
Okay, sheesh. Crazy how big boulders get. That better?
I think Soray's more hung up on how the crazy big rock got into these ruins.
Yeah, it clearly dwarfs the entranceway, and that doesn't even address the issue of why it was even placed here.
Maybe even hundreds of years ago. There were still folks like you who got a kick out of weird objects.
Well, who says they hauled it in here? Maybe the ruins were built around the rock and not vice versa.
That's it! This has to be a shrine to the rock itself!
It's possible this rock was even a vessel.
You can't fathom the true meaning of legends until you've seen their history with your own eyes.
Oh, hey, like what you and Maven were talking about.
Yeah, but now I understand. It's not enough just to use your eyes. Thanks, Rose.
Thanks for...
When conventional thinking is hitting a wall, sometimes it takes people whose brains are wild and untamed. People like you.
Pretty sure my brain's standard issue?
She has no idea.
Whoops, I'm just hallucinating a wooden horse in the middle of the shrine. Don't mind me.
It's awful tiny. You think it's for kids, maybe?
Toy horses are only rarely made for adults, so yes.
But what's a toy doing here inside the Shrine of Trials?
How would I know? Seems unlikely it's related to the trial.
It just bugs me.
Maybe it's some kind of hint. Toy horse, horses, horse and buggy.
Carrots, horse meat, horse burgers, horse waffles, horse cream cones. Crap. Now I'm hungry and yucked out.
The dread overthinking a non sequitur trap of the ancients. Tremble before their mastery of psychological torture.